South Austin is a unique and laid-back environment that draws a lot of interesting people to it. College students, musicians, artists, and young entrepreneurs looking for a creative environment and a sense of community. I came to Austin to talk to David Ansel. A former software engineer, David became tired of the corporate rat race, and he took his love of cooking and his desire to be a part of a community to the streets. Literally. He began to make soup in his home and deliver it on the back of his bike. Today, this creative entrepreneur is known everywhere as the Soup Peddler.
Picasso said that all children are artists, and we just lose that capacity as we get older. The special ones, the artists, are the people that keep and retain it. So I've always been more about crafty, folksy things. There's a Guy Clark song called Stuff That Works, and that song's kind of more what I'm about, is stuff that works, stuff that holds up, the kind of stuff you don't hang on your wall.
David truly appreciates the life he's living, and he knows it started by following his passion, not from a logical business analysis.
It has taken like a really peculiar combination of blessings to make this thing still exist. I mean, there was, yes, my original passion, fire, and skills, but a lot of people have those. I really believe that there's just a lot of that kind of fortune had to play with it. I was just on fire. It was a fiery time in my life. I was like producing a lot of energy, and the dream was really about finding a creative existence. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this the best I can. I didn't know if it was even a viable business model.
David started right where he was. He started with the dinners and community events in his home. He learned to cook, and he learned that he loved it. He also learned that he loved the sense of community that was associated with these events.
Just the community around the table thing was the thing that I would say is what the fire was for me. And it's actually, the Sabbath table for Jews is metaphoric for the special table in the tabernacle. And so it's part of the liturgy, it's part of our world, and it's really, for a lot of Jews, the main way that culture is actually passed down is through food, more than anything else.
David transferred this sense of community from the dinners that he had in his home into his business philosophy as Austin's Soup Peddler.
We are part of people's dinner tables, and there's something special about, and it's sort of intimate about that, but there's also a lot of risk with that. Like, if you ruin someone's dinner, they invite people over, and we do Thanksgiving dinner stuff and Christmas dinner, holiday stuff, and people get, they're serving this stuff to other people, and it's just the stakes are very high. It's very nerve-wracking. We have a unique ability to be able to connect to people and actually develop a relationship.
Many of us have ideas about what we'd like to do with our lives, but we just don't do it. Why? Because of our own fear and doubt. Well, David provides a great testimony to the adage, jump and the net will appear. And when the doors open, your efforts will feel almost effortless.
It was like this Saturday Night Live skit where Jim Belushi was this mean supermarket manager, and his employee cut out and installed some of that magic carpet on his shoes. When you step on the carpet, the doors open. It felt like that. It felt like everywhere I was going, doors were opening in front of me, and the world was pushing me forward. And what that really was, that was happening, I've come to realize it was my honest enthusiasm for what I was doing. For the feeling of happiness is when you do something and it becomes effortless, and it draws you forward. It's not work to do something. You get the feeling that you want to, not need to do it, but it's inviting you in to do the work.
As David's business grew from his bicycle and his house to multiple trucks and a standalone location, David was intent on staying true to his community values and true to who he is.
We have been as true and soulful as we can. None of us like to be sold or like to sell. None of us like advertising or being advertised to. None of us like being told we need something. And that's kind of what is special about us. Like, we're kind of like specialized in stealth marketing.
Both David and his business have matured since the early days.
It's now much more stable and dependable, and my life is, I'm putting on a little gut, and I'm a family man, and I mow the lawn and all this stuff, and so it's a different game right now. But I can't compare the two. But this is certainly an enjoyable part for me. Definitely reaping the rewards.
David's had many opportunities to expand his business, but he won't, for the same reason he was unhappy as a successful software engineer. It's inconsistent with his personal values. He's developed an interesting new business quotient to explain his perspective.
There's dollar to headache quotient, like how many dollars are you going to get out of something versus how many headaches. Having that quotient being a decider if you're going to go down that road, So, a lot of people, like, I get approached by a lot of people like, oh, you should do this, you should sell to Whole Foods, you should wholesale your stuff, you should get a co-packer to make the stuff, you should franchise this, you should open one up north, you should open one in Dallas, you should open one in Baltimore. But all those things fail the headache to dollar quotient test.
David didn't create a business plan. He doesn't do any cost analysis of his ingredients. He does no marketing. Every respectable business school in America would laugh at his approach, but I believe it's David who's getting the last laugh as he continues to stay true to his inner compass, and he's living the life that he loves. And by the way, the soup's great.